Welcome to this series on cooking with the Microbiome Expert. We're going to talk about a wide variety of food and cooking topics. All right, we're going to start off by making what I call just simply stew. And we're going to start off the stew by boiling some water, and we're going to suck out all the goodness from these marrow bones that I specifically get cut up at the market. And we're going to suck all this great bone marrow right out of here along with any other nutrients we can. As well as, and this might gross some of you out, we're going to suck out the goodness from chicken feet and chicken hearts and chicken liver. And we're going to boil this down for at least 2 to 3 hours, and you're going to see all the goodness come out. Now I know liver tastes like and of course we're not going to be eating chicken feet, so we're going to pull all these guys out after about 3 hours of boil time, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our vegetables and legumes and so forth. Everybody's taking like a collagen powder these days, right? And I have some people actually who are buying like a pre-made, soup mix, a collagen mix or something like that. I do everything from scratch. So after I boil down for 2-3 hours, I'm pulling all the good minerals out of these bones as well as the bone marrow. And of course, pulling the collagen out of the chicken feet. Again, not very appetizing for most people out there, but I'm different, I'm strange, this is what I do. So I make my own soup base, which then, feeds the collagen that you would otherwise buy in a product. So I just got some nice fresh water in this pot here. We're gonna put in our marrow bones. Got a couple of those. If you put in too many for one soup, then there's like way too much marrow in your soup. And then I'm just going to dump all these chicken feet, chicken heart, and chicken liver right on in. And we're just simply going to put this on the burner. And it's going to boil away. And it's going to simmer for about 2 to 3 hours, and we'll come back and revisit this later on. Okay, so we've been boiling down our kind of basics over here with the marrow bones, the chicken feet, etc. we talked about earlier. So that's been simmering away for a couple hours. Now we're going to start the rest of the prep for that. So I'm going to take these nice giant leeks. We're going to take 3 of these. We have 2 more. We're going to take some of our sweet potato. We have 2 different types of sweet potato. We have this particular orange one here, and we have this more purple one here. So we're going to add that in as well. We're also going to add in some garlic and some ginger. In addition to the ingredients I mentioned, we're also going to add in some of this purple cabbage, some curry powder, and some of these peas. So, the peas, very simple, right? Curry powder, very simple. And then from here to do some peeling and some chopping. So, typically I take off the outer layer of the leek. And we'll do that plus these other 2 leeks right here. In addition, we also have our various sweet potatoes. And we'll chop those up to a size that's roughly like so. And with the garlic, again, there'll be a bunch of garlic in here. We're looking at probably a good solid handful of garlic. Of course, this is to taste. And roughly this much garlic, this much ginger, and and then we'll come back and revisit this pot of soup in a little while. Okay, so our stew has been simmering down for a few hours now. So now we're going to pull these guys out of here. So first we'll start with the liver and the chicken feet, and the last thing will be the bone marrow, because we're going to make sure at the end we get all the good bone marrow out of those bones. We want to do it last because if we don't, then we mix up parts of liver with bone marrow, and that's not any fun when you taste that. As you can see, there's still bone marrow in there. I like to pull that out with a butter knife and make sure we get all the goodness on out. One of the reasons why I like the bone marrow, and of course to get a lot of the bones, is because it has all this amazing fat, which, by the way, the brain is mostly fat and made up of a lot of cholesterol, which I won't even get into all the cholesterol drugs. So, but for those of you who, may have anxiety, depression, etc., part of that is the inflammatory response generated from the gut into brain inflammation. But again, we also have people out there who are taking far too many statins for really no valid use, or people who are vegans who are not consuming really any animal fat as well. Animal fat is a very, very rich, calorie-dense source, which was probably a part of our evolution to be humans, to have the brains that we have. And so without consuming things like bone marrow or whole fish or something like that, we would not evolve to having the brain capacity that we have now. So here we have this really rich boiled down soup we have going on here. You can see all the bone marrow floating on top. What I'm going to do is put this in a bigger pot, add all my prepared vegetables to this along with the curry powder, and then that too will simmer down for another hour. And here we have the finished product. All that's left to do now is enjoy. Bon appetit. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, somewhere around here, you can go to my website where you can schedule a consultation with me. You can also view the protocols, and here you can watch the next video.